She is a name that defined generations, a voice that pierced through decades, and a face that the world instantly recognized. Yet today, as Cher approaches 80, the life she leads is far from the glittering image that millions adore. Behind the dazzling costumes, the unforgettable concerts, and the records that broke every expectation, lies a quieter, more complicated truth, a life marked by solitude and reflection that few dare to imagine. Cher, the woman who became an icon, has seen love, loss, triumph, and heartbreak, all under the unrelenting gaze of fame. From the early days of her career, she learned that every success came with a price, that every spotlight cast a shadow, and that even the loudest applause could not fill the empty spaces in her heart. Today, the mansions she inhabits are grand and beautiful, yet echo with memories of laughter that no longer fills the rooms, and faces that have long disappeared from her daily life. Fans see her on stage vibrant, energetic, seemingly invincible, but behind closed doors, Cher confronts the universal struggle of aging, of navigating a world that once adored her youth and now watches her every move with a mix of reverence and curiosity. There is a paradox in her existence. She is celebrated, admired, and remembered as a goddess of entertainment, yet the quiet moments of her day are tinged with loneliness, a subtle melancholy that only those closest to her might glimpse. Social media and interviews offer rare windows, but even there much is carefully curated. Glimpses of vulnerability are fleeting enough to make the public wonder, but not enough to reveal the true depth of her experiences. She has loved deeply and lost profoundly, and the echoes of these relationships linger in her memories, sometimes bringing smiles, sometimes haunting shadows. Behind every flawless performance is a woman who has carried the weight of expectation, the burden of public scrutiny, and the silent ache of human longing. The world knows her for her strength, her defiance, her boldness, yet few pause to consider the moments of quiet introspection, the nights when the applause fades and she is left with her thoughts, reflecting on a life lived in full view of millions. Even as she continues to perform, to act, to engage with causes and fans, there is a fragility in her solitude that becomes more pronounced with time, a reminder that even legends are human, that even the brightest stars endure shadows, and that the life of Cher, as magnificent as it has been, is also quietly, profoundly sad in ways the world cannot fully measure. And as we begin to explore her story, we will uncover the layers of sacrifice, resilience, and hidden sorrow that have shaped the woman who has become a timeless icon, a journey that will reveal that behind the fame, behind the spectacle, lies a deeply human story that is waiting to be understood. Cher's journey to superstardom was anything but simple, a path carved through resilience, determination, and relentless struggle that most fans could never imagine. Born Sherilyn Sarkeesian in 1946, she grew up in a world that demanded toughness from a very young age. Family instability, frequent moves, and an uncertain childhood taught her early lessons about survival, independence, and the importance of crafting her own identity. These formative years were marked by challenges that left lasting impressions, shaping a woman who would later navigate the complexities of fame with both courage and caution. By the time she stepped onto the national stage, she had already learned to adapt, to reinvent herself, and to understand that public admiration often comes at the cost of private peace. Her rise alongside Sonny Bono seemed like a fairy tale to audiences, the music, the romance, the chemistry that captivated millions. But behind the curtain, tensions simmered, pressures mounted, and the demands of fame often collided with the fragile threads of personal connection. The world saw harmony. Cher experienced friction, compromise, and the constant necessity to perform not just on stage, but in life itself. Their professional and personal partnership required sacrifices that were invisible to fans. The long hours, the public scrutiny, the expectations to maintain a perfect image while personal desires were often sidelined. Cher's solo career later magnified these pressures, pushing her into new territories, new personas, and new creative challenges, all while the weight of public expectation loomed larger than ever. Each reinvention, each bold statement, each daring performance demanded emotional labor, pushing her beyond limits that most would find exhausting. Fame amplified not only her successes but also her vulnerabilities, turning small personal struggles into stories dissected by media outlets eager for scandal. Friendships were tested, romantic relationships strained, and moments of genuine privacy became rare treasures she could hardly safeguard. Cher mastered the art of concealment, learning to shield her deepest emotions behind a veneer of confidence and flamboyance, a skill admired by many but truly understood by few. Yet, no amount of courage or reinvention could erase the subtle loneliness that built over decades, a quiet companion shadowing her through victories and applause alike. Aging added a new dimension to this reality, reminding her that the relentless pace of performance and reinvention cannot shield anyone from the universal challenges of time, health, and the human need for authentic connection. And so, the stage that once offered escape also became a reflection of what was missing: intimacy, calm, and the simple comfort of life beyond the spotlight. In understanding this, we begin to see Cher not just as a superstar, but as a woman navigating a labyrinth of pressures, sacrifices, and deeply human desires, a narrative that sets the stage for the more intimate struggles and hidden stories that will follow, revealing why the life of an icon, no matter how dazzling, can also be profoundly lonely. Each moment of triumph carries with it echoes of private struggle, and the story of Cher's resilience is inseparable from the quieter narrative of her personal sacrifices, a tension that continues to define her existence today and hints at the deeper truths yet to be uncovered in the chapters that lie ahead. As the years unfolded, Cher's personal life became a tapestry of love, heartbreak, and quiet resilience, a side of her existence rarely visible to the public. Her relationships were often played out under the relentless gaze of media, where private emotions became public spectacle, each romance dissected, each argument magnified, and every reconciliation scrutinized. Her marriage to Sonny Bono, once seen as a symbol of perfect harmony, carried tensions that the world never fully understood: ego clashes, disagreements about career choices, and the constant pressure to maintain a flawless public image. After their separation, Cher's journey through love remained just as complex, marked by hope, disappointment, and the persistent challenge of finding someone who could understand the woman behind the legend. Parenthood added an entirely new layer of responsibility and emotional weight to her life. Raising Chaz Bono, particularly during a time when society's understanding of gender identity was far more limited, presented challenges that were both deeply personal and highly public. Cher's maternal instincts often collided with her professional obligations, leaving her to navigate feelings of guilt, anxiety, and the yearning to protect her child while maintaining a high-profile career. Fans admired her courage, her bold statements, and her continued artistry, yet few appreciated the emotional balancing act she performed daily, striving to offer love, guidance, and stability amidst a life defined by performance and public scrutiny. Friendships and collaborations, too, were tested by the nature of celebrity. Trust became fragile, loyalty was frequently questioned, and alliances often shifted under the spotlight's unforgiving glare. Even in moments of apparent joy, award ceremonies, sold-out concerts, or red carpet appearances, there were undercurrents of tension, of private moments where Cher grappled with doubts, regrets, and the longing for simpler human connections. She learned to perform happiness even when her heart carried weight, mastering the art of projecting strength while navigating personal vulnerability. And yet, this duality, public brilliance contrasted with private solitude, grew more pronounced with each passing year. The adoration of millions could not replace the intimacy of genuine companionship, nor could the flash of cameras fill the quiet spaces in her life. Every achievement, every accolade, every perfectly executed performance carried with it echoes of sacrifice, moments lost, and emotional struggles that remained unseen. It is within this tension, this delicate balance of public success and private longing, that we begin to understand the real Cher, a woman whose life has been extraordinary, yet marked by the profound human need for connection, understanding, and love. And as we look closer, we uncover not only the triumphs but also the shadows, the untold stories of late-night reflections, quiet anxieties, and moments of vulnerability that define her existence today. This exploration compels us to reconsider what it truly means to be a legend, and to acknowledge that even the brightest stars often carry unseen burdens, the weight of which becomes more visible as the years advance, drawing us inevitably toward the next layer of Cher's life, the present reality of her 80-year-old existence, where resilience meets reflection, and fame meets solitude in ways that are as poignant as they are powerful. In recent years, glimpses into Cher's life have revealed a woman who continues to defy expectations, yet carries the unmistakable weight of time and experience. She remains a tireless performer, gracing stages with energy that seems almost impossible for someone approaching 80. Yet every smile, every pose, and every carefully chosen word hints at the quieter reality beneath the spectacle. Social media posts and interviews offer fleeting glimpses of her personality, humor, and advocacy, but they also reveal subtle signs of solitude and reflection, a contrast that fans cannot fully decipher. She advocates passionately for causes, engages with supporters, and continues to appear in films and performances. Yet behind these public engagements lies a woman confronting the realities of aging, health concerns, and the search for meaningful human connection. Even the grand homes she inhabits, adorned with memories and reminders of a storied life, carry echoes of absence and quiet, spaces where the laughter of loved ones is remembered but not present. Collaborators and friends note her remarkable drive and intensity, yet they also see traces of vulnerability, moments where the constant performance, the relentless demands of fame, and the private aches of solitude quietly surface. Cher's life today is a study in contrasts, outwardly vibrant, yet inwardly reflective, celebrated, yet quietly lonely, fearless, yet subtly weighed by decades of experiences and losses. The demands of the entertainment industry, once a stage for her bold reinventions, now intersect with the realities of health, aging, and the emotional toll of decades lived in full public view. Appearances on television, award ceremonies, and social media engagements are layered with performance and resilience, yet beneath them lies a consciousness of time past, of opportunities cherished and moments missed. Each public smile is accompanied by a private reckoning, a reminder that no amount of applause or admiration can fully compensate for the human need for companionship and understanding. Fans may celebrate her energy, her courage, and her continued artistry, but the subtler story of Cher at this stage of life is far more intricate, a narrative of quiet endurance, of a woman who has witnessed decades of change, loss, and reinvention, yet continues to navigate the world with determination, grace, and a profound sense of introspection. And as we consider this reality, we are drawn toward the final, most poignant understanding of Cher's life today, a story where resilience meets solitude, where fame intersects with the inevitable reflection on mortality, and where the legend we admire is also a deeply human being facing the universal challenges of aging, connection, and the passage of time, setting the stage for the emotional conclusion that will linger long after the applause has faded. Ultimately, the story of Cher as she nears 80 is a profound reflection on the duality of fame, resilience, and human vulnerability. Her life has been extraordinary, filled with accomplishments that most can only dream of. Chart-topping songs, iconic film roles, fashion revolutions, and a presence that has influenced generations. Yet behind this brilliance lies a quieter, deeply human reality, one shaped by solitude, reflection, and the weight of time. Cher's journey reminds us that even the most dazzling life cannot fully protect a person from the universal challenges of aging, the ache of lost relationships, and the longing for authentic connection. Her triumphs on stage, the applause of millions, and the glamour that surrounds her are all interwoven with personal struggles that are subtle but profound. Moments of introspection, private doubts, and the quiet realization that time spares no one, not even an icon. Cher's story invites us to look beyond the surface, to see the woman behind the legend, the human being navigating love, loss, and legacy with grace and courage. In her endurance, we find inspiration; in her solitude, a reminder of the universal nature of human longing. The contrast between public celebration and private reflection deepens our understanding of what it truly means to live a life in the spotlight, revealing that strength is not only measured by achievements, but also by the quiet fortitude with which one faces the private moments that fame cannot shield. And as we reflect on Cher's present, we recognize the enduring impact of her artistry alongside the delicate fragility of her existence, a tension that resonates powerfully, compelling us to appreciate the complexity behind every public image and every triumphant performance. Her life, both luminous and shadowed, teaches us about resilience, the passage of time, and the intimate costs of a life lived fully in the public eye. In the end, Cher is more than a legend; she is a living testament to the balance between spectacle and solitude, glory and reflection, reminding us that even icons must navigate the human experience with its joys, pains, and quiet sorrows. As viewers, we are left with an emotional imprint, a lasting sense of curiosity and empathy, and a profound acknowledgement that behind every iconic figure lies a deeply personal, often poignant story. a story that makes us see Cher not just as a superstar, but as a woman who has endured, loved, and reflected, whose life, though tinged with sadness, continues to inspire, to teach, and to resonate in ways that extend far beyond the stage, leaving a legacy that is as emotionally powerful as it is culturally unforgettable.